Aloha and welcome to Home is Here. I'm Kala'i Miller. What comes to mind when you think of mu'umu'u or mumu? Aunties, tutus, loud colors and patterns? On this episode, we will talk to the women who are working to bring the mu'umu'u back. The mu'umu'u movement was started by wahine of all ages who have formed a community based on their love for this distinctly Hawaiian garment. These passionate women are shining a spotlight on the mu'umu'u and sharing the rich history and stories behind these pieces of wearable aloha.
I don't really know why the mu'umu'u went out of style.
There was something so powerful about the way I felt in mu'umu'u. It would make me think of my mom, and it would make me feel like a princess.
At one time we had a booming fashion industry, and there's a resurgence of that again.
My name is Marian Jones, and I'm the founder of the Mu'umu'u Library. When I was young, my mom always wore mu'umu'u, and for parties, she would always dress us up in matching ones. And, you know, for Aloha Fridays at school or picture days, we always wore aloha wear. In high school, I started thrifting a lot, and I loved finding the old vintage aloha wear in the thrift shops. It would just bring back a lot of nostalgic feelings.
Mu'umu'u means to cut or to shorten. It was an abbreviated garment compared to the holoku, which was a lot more formal and long, usually with a train. So the mu'umu'u was a more casual form of the holoku. They slowly did go out of style. And of course, there was always aunties that wore them, but for women of my generation, they were things you would pass by if you saw them in the thrift store.
I moved away for college, and when I came back home, it had been 7 years I'd been off island, and I kind of was having this identity crisis. I found that when I wore aloha wear, I felt at home again, and it almost made me feel like I fit in, and I started collecting again and thrifting again. There's very few places where I feel like I truly belong. I think that aloha wear is really representative of the people of Hawaii because it was formed here. It's very unique to this place, and I feel like, as a half white, half Filipino woman, that this is also where I make sense. Nice aloha wear can oftentimes be expensive, like this beautiful dress. Luckily, I got this one at the swap meet. I scored, but I wanted to find a way that women could wear beautiful aloha wear in a way that was affordable and sustainable. The Mu'umu'u Library is a place where women can borrow and trade dresses and really share and be a part of a community. Right now we are transitioning and fundraising for larger space in order to have it become more of an educational space where women can come in, borrow mu'u, but they can also take a sewing class, borrow patterns. We're currently building an archive of patterns. So if they wanted to sew their own nake'u with the fabric that they found, they could. And we're lucky that Nake'u has generously offered to donate a pattern or two to our library and to our archive. We are here at Nake'u Awai's shop in Kalihi. I know, the first time I came here, this was all blocked off and I was trying to peek in. I was like, can I look in there? And he said, yes, but you can't buy anything.
I performed and lived in Hollywood for about 7 years. I was exposed to fashions up there. And so when I came back and decided to move home, I decided to go into fashion. I eventually did go into printing my own fabrics. I always wanted to do clothing for local people. I would take my fabric and they would make Betty scoops, and there would be 2 labels, would be my label as well as Betty Mu'u. People still come back. They come back and tell me about the old mu'u that they had from a long time ago, and could I have another one like it?
It's a great honor to be here because he, ignited the second Hawaiian Renaissance, and I sincerely believe that we're in the midst of another renaissance right now, just the way that the Mu'umu'u movement has kind of taken off in the past few years. And you can really feel the momentum, especially this year, this Mu'u month.
My name's Shannon Hiramoto, and I'm from the island of Kauai. I started Mu'umu'u Month 8 years ago in 2015. It started as a social media creative expression, and it's since grown. And now many wahine participate, and we're a community. One reason why I love the Mu'umu'u so much is because of my nostalgia and sentimentality from growing up here. It was just a part of life, a part of childhood, and it was so unique and special. It was part of every special occasion, every school photo. As I grew older, it was something that I wanted to revisit, and having a child also encouraged me to want to pass it down to her. For me, when I started Mu'umu'u Month, it was because I was gifted about 70 Mu'umu'u vintage ones from a family friend. I decided I didn't want to repurpose these. I wanted to wear them and actually pay them respect and give them a second life. And that's when I thought I was going to wear one every single day for the first 31 days of the year. And I had the rest that I offered for free to anybody that wanted to also participate, and it slowly spread from there. The ability for us to connect over social media was also very significant, and to be able to see things on different people in different contexts, and in contexts that maybe are a little unusual, like a bowling alley or a hike. To see a mu'umu'u in these different environments was really appealing for people, and that's what generated a lot of interest in the dresses, to see that they are versatile and that they can still be relevant and fun. It's also a bridge between generations. So you see little keiki to women my age, to maybe some kupuna, all wearing them, and each getting a kick out of them.
My favorite thing about the Mu'u movement is this intergenerational fashion, but it really nurtures intergenerational friendships as well. One of my best friends, is in her 60s, Auntie Leigh Batty, and she has her shop, D-Stash Hawaii. She teaches me how to embroider, and we'll go get lunch together, but she's 66 years old and I'm 30, so. But I think that's very unique to the Mu'umu'u. Women who come to the Mu'u Library shop are usually younger. I was surprised at first how young. I think like 16, 17, and then early to mid-20s. And I think they're just excited to be part of a fashion movement that's different and something they can feel good about. Like I said, it's sustainable. They want to shop locally, and I think they feel the same way that I do, and they feel like a sense of belonging through their fashion, that when I see another woman wearing a mu'umu'u, I'm like, sis. At the palace, we had our Mu'u at the Museum event, and it was just so warm and fuzzy to be around all these women, and we're united by nothing else other than the fact that we love wearing mu'umu'u.
My name is Alexa Zen. I am the event chair for Mu'u at the museum. I'm also the treasurer for the board of Daughters of Hawaii. We're so lucky that Marian with Mu'u Library is willing to partner with us. The fact is that there's so much overlap between what she does and what we do. She's all about promoting these beautiful garments, and these garments happen to stem from a period that our organization is dedicated to preserving and promoting. The Daughters of Hawaii wanted to host an event that celebrated Queen Emma's birthday, which was January 2nd. This year we celebrated her 186th birthday. We also knew that January was Mu'umu'u month, so we thought, why not combine the two? Host an event that celebrated Mu'umu'u month in commemoration of her name, but also that historic period when so many women wear mu'umu'u.
That's it, one more. Nice smile. Oh yeah, you got it. Look gorgeous. Thank you.
Later today, I'm having lunch with Toko from Princess Kailani Fashions, and she's from Japan, but she has this, admiration of mu'umu'u. One of the things that inspired me to start the Mu'umu'u Library was a friend of mine had actually traveled to Japan, and he told me all about the kimono rentals, and he went to this kimono museum, and there's all this reverence towards the kimono, and I'm like, that's so beautiful. I wish that existed here for mu'umu'u, and she had the same exact thought.
My name is Toko Sugaya. I do a rental dress store in Waikiki. We've been making Funaho or Iolani School graduation dresses. If I were a high school student in Hawaii, I wish I had that, because it's not just a regular gown and something that they're proud of to carry it. The fit has a historic fit, and the style changed every year. Students choose the dress, and I really want young people to carry the Hawaiian fashion and something to be proud of.
Another really great thing that I love about the mu'umu'u is that everyone has a story to tell. So whenever you see a woman walking down the street and she's wearing one, it instantly stops you in your tracks and you want to ask her about it. You want to ask her, where did it come from? Whose was it? And usually it unlocks a lot of storytelling.
My mom's mu'umu'u are definitely the most special to me. I often come across a lot of homemade mu'us, and those are my favorite, and definitely a huge inspiration behind the Mu'umu'u Library.
What I love about this mu'umu'u that I'm wearing is that it was given to me by my mother, and that she passed on to me, which I just love the lineage of it and just the sentimentality behind it. It is a off-the-shoulder black Allen Akina with black eyelet lace.
I found my great-grandmother's mu'umu'u in a thrift store on Kauai, and I knew it was hers because her name was in the tag, and then I hunted through photo albums and confirmed it when I saw photos of her wearing it. I went to the exact spot where she was and replicated the photographs, and it was just an amazing thing to be able to reconnect with her in that way, because she had passed, and I felt like it was a little wink to me.
What's so amazing about mu'umu'u is that yes, it's local and Hawaii designers are making them, but they can still have a worldwide impact. I mean, there's something for everyone. Look how cute this is, right?
I think what makes aloha wear different than Western fashion is that it's us, and it is our story. It's this mixed plate fashion, and it takes a little bit from everyone. It's a little bit haole, it's a little bit Hawaiian, it's a little bit Japanese, and I think that's why it unites us, because it belongs to all of us. Anyone who loves Hawaii and loves this place would also love to dress in a way that is reflective of the people and its history. I just think that's beautiful.